This is my second book, and again, I hope I don't wobble around too much while I show you the pages. But the book is fairly bulky, and so I'll just run through the pages because you've seen most of it on Flickr. Again, it was just my idea was to use Mum's buttons and just to incorporate all of the titivation that Karen had showed us through the workshop. I rather like the little fans. I think I would use those again. Only thing different here was that I used the edging of a piece of material where they give you the name and the colours. Thought it would add something different. And again, I have added a second signature to the back of another signature using the circle with the buttonhole bars across it. Attempted a little bit of transfer drawing and then just added some of the embellishments that I've been doing all through the class. More buttons. And this was that grey mulberry paper which I didn't like pleated. So this time I just added a piece of lace to it and buttonhole down where the join was and added some of the drawn thread. Tried to get a bit bold here and used some brighter colours. Black, I suppose, can be brighter than what I have been using, and some of this lovely wrapping paper here. This one went back to using a lot of white. I used bullion knots over the cord, which was behind the fabric this time. And then this is the silk yarn just caught down. I put thread on card. I used GIMP here and the silk yarn here. This page is a little bit different for me. I cut it out or tore it out of a magazine and then just embellished it with some sequins, some thread, just to brighten it up, and used the scrim lace as an overlay. Here I've taken another piece of paper out of a magazine that said washing and polishing, and added it to the usual paper which had been sewn together on the machine with free motion. Another Celtic knot, a little bit of mulberry paper. This one was a little bit more elaborate, so I wanted to highlight Mum's glass beads here. So I put them against the grey and the transfer paper and some little puffs that I just caught down. A very simple page, just using the drawn thread work that we did on the scrim, and this one was on the heavier scrim, so it went very well. Again, the little piece of paper with the circle cut out and the buttonhole around it. Just another simple page of using buttons and embellishments. The same here. This is just that pink paper that I used before with some lace, and then these are just buttons caught down and allowed to drop free from the third button. And the edge is embellished with some silver cubed beads. I'm not a lace person, so I sort of thought this one was a bit of overkill, but it's there, and I tried to brighten it up with these pieces of paper underneath it. Then I went back to my simple sewing that I like to do, just added a bit of the transfer paper. Some of these little beads are caught down with the bullion knot, and then this is a row of French knots and GIMP caught underneath it. And again, I got this little fellow out of a magazine, and he's hidden behind another piece of drawn thread. And this page is, I think you've seen this one before, it's with the Celtic knots down the side. I did it very early on in the class. And my last page is just, again, the mulberry paper with the holes embellished with buttonhole and some beading and more buttons. What I did was that I made this hard cover for this particular artist book, because they were big and they were getting a bit tattered through me handling it a lot. Again, with these edges, I've torn them to give them that decal edge, and in some instances I've used the punch needle pattern along the edge to just brighten it up. So that's my second book, and again, I enjoyed doing it, and thank you, Karen, for all of these wonderful ideas.